Welcome to the Super Gamer Podcast. Welcome to the new Super Gamer Podcast, episode 163. Our guest this week is a blogger. Has worked marketing and PR at several places, such as Solpio, which I may have mispronounced, Game Desire Group, Bloober Team, Feardemic, Tate Multimedia, and Crunching Koalas. And I believe quite recently has started the Game Marketing Guide at gamemarketing.guide. We have Marta Matyjewicz. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks, Mark, for introducing me. It's lovely to be here. But Solpio, the thing that you mentioned at the beginning, is like not existed at this time. So, but yeah, the rest is still there.
All right. That's the blog. You have 3 posts that I can see on there. So, is it totally new?
Yeah, it's a fresh thing because I felt the urge to share my knowledge with indie devs. But the process of creating this blog is going way back to, I don't know, maybe last year, because, I started like doing some offsite gigs in marketing and PR as a consultant, the thing that I'm doing today. And, when you are working with different projects, the thing is that unfortunately you tend to not finishing things that you are started for yourself. Hence my blog. So it was like on my backlog for too long time. And yeah, now I finally managed to pull it in, release it, and starting to filling it with content.
One thing you say marketing should ideally start at the inception of the game. It's not an afterthought, I guess.
No, it's something that I strongly believe in. Sometimes you tend to hear from marketers or people who are saying that and preaching that you should start marketing your game when you have something to show. But I don't think that's entirely true. I think that the marketing behind the game should start at the second after you have this, I have an idea for a game thing, Right. Because at this time, when you think about your dream game that you would like to make, you actually can. You actually should start thinking about, okay, so I have this thing that I'm dreaming to create, but at this point I need to start thinking what to do to make it unique, to actually gather people who would like to enjoy the thing that I want to create for them, right? And the market is unfortunately so saturated, and there are so many things going on, and every single developer and creator, of course, wants their game to be like in the front of public. Everybody wants this. So that's why it's so important.
So when we say it should be there at the inception of the game, should marketing or that thought of like, okay, how can I make this something sellable? Like, should that guide sort of how you make the game, what you put in the game, or is it just no, make the game you want to make, but always keep in mind to pay attention to what is the most unique selling point or something?
Ideally, it would be a situation when you actually can merge the two approaches. Like, you have this dream and idea of a game that actually has this unique things. But it's like utopian thing, But as a marketer, I need to say and stay by this, that I really think that at this certain point, you need to think about making it marketable. Because sometimes we tend to think that our idea is unique, and we put, all of this heart and hours and money into creating this, and then at the end, when it comes to launch the game, it comes to a realization, oh my God, this doesn't work because you didn't put an extra hours into researching if there's actually something similar to what you already created,
Right. And a couple words that you said there, competitors and utopia. I did wonder, because you talk about you want to learn about and align yourself with games similar to yours, but you also need to differentiate yourself. And I think for me, it's nice to think of, all of gaming is like, this is the utopia part. Every developer kind of loves each other and shares with each other and all that, but it is a competitive market. I guess I'm wondering how you can both sort of align yourself.
It's competitive.
But how can you sort of, I don't know how to phrase this properly, but be nice and get close with other developers and learn from them, but also realize like, well, they're kind of my competition, and I need to outdo them.
Oh, Mark, but I think that I have this this super great opportunity to work in the industry that actually gathers people who, of course, competes against each other. That's true, but also they tend to lift themselves and they're helping each other, because like indie development tends to gather these people that they know that on their own they have little to no chance to succeed. So you see on Twitter and on other social media platforms that they are trying to help each other, and that's a good thing. And of course, you may think that if you are creating what's like the most saturated thing besides vampire survivors type of things, I don't know, puzzle platformer, right? Mm-hmm. You're creating puzzle platformers. There are plenty of puzzle platformers on Steam and on every single other store platform, right? But of course, my buddy creates, for example, something like dark soulish kind of thing, because probably they can see that there is a niche for this kind of thing. I'm making this right now up, so but I'm looking for examples. Okay, so as I am a friend with this developer and I see that they're making this type of game and I know what else is there on the market and what's currently trending, I can think of trying to put a bit of a twist on this particular genre, add something new to it, And this doesn't necessarily mean that if my buddy will create this kind of dark puzzle platformer kind of thing, and I will do, I don't know, a little bit different puzzle platformer, that we are going to, steal food from each other. It's not working that way, because still, if you are doing your work really well as a marketer, and if you actually nail this look out for your perfect players, you know that these people who are playing puzzle platformers are going to play your game, but after some times they will want more, different other experiences. So it's not that if I'm doing thing in the particular genre and my friend is doing something similar, that we are going to need to battle on the ground for the trophy. No, it's not working that way. I believe that indie developers can actually cooperate and help each other.
And the whole
I'm here to help them.
The whole marketing from inception thing, which I'm still going on about, but certainly I believe you've said too, for indie developers, that's such a big deal because, this sort of showing, I guess you don't necessarily have to, but showing the public, the dev side of things, you actually making the game has been such a great tool for marketing for indie developers.
Mm-hmm. But what's the question? Sorry.
I guess I'm just, it wasn't really much of a question. It's just, we're kind of at a stage with Twitch and all that where a lot of developers can kind of show players like, look, this is where we are in developing it. This is me making a sprite, blah, blah, blah. And it seems to be a good way to get people on board.
Yeah, because it's like, you are this small, sometimes even solo dev, who tends to put spare time, money, heart, and everything into doing this little indie game. And I think that people, especially those who are following indie game developers, tend to like these kind of stories, that you are the single persona who actually tries to, I don't know if fight is a good word, but put something new to what we already have in the industry, something fresh, and they put all of themselves into this project. And I think that it's really gets people, so they want to be a part of this journey. I think that this is one of the things that actually can help. It's not like the only the best recipe for success in the indie game development, because this recipe, like the universal recipe, doesn't exist, unfortunately, but it may be one of the point when you actually can hook people into what you are making.
And as far as hooking people in, one thing I really like you said in an interview with Adam Kubaszewski, I might have said that one wrong as well, from Versio blog. This is translated from Polish, so I'm probably paraphrasing. But as a marketer, you don't feel the need to convert anyone to gaming. So basically, like, you're saying, it's not like there's not enough gamers. We need to, like, seek people who aren't into the medium, which, sounds about right. So where should developers be looking for their market?
Oh my God, I sound so smart when you're translating my words from Polish interview. And I was like, did I really said that? I don't remember. But yeah, probably yes. But again, I lost the question. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Like where should developers be seeking their market? How do you find the market for your game?
Oh, that's a great thing, and that's a great question, actually. And this is something that I try to, and I will put an extra hours into explaining to all of the people who would like to know more about. So usually when this question comes up into any kind of discussion, there are some people who like to go, okay, so it's Twitter, Reddit, this kind of stuff, and then I'm barging in, and I'm kind of a party pooper, and I said something like, okay, you need to market your game when your players are. This is it. It may seem like something vague to say, but I'm going to tell you why it's not. Because sometimes you can actually create something very, very niche. And you would think that, okay, so probably my best bet is Twitter. Like, it usually is, because like most developers are there, and of course other people of media and stuff who could actually help you lift your game. But sometimes your game could be so niche that these people wouldn't be there, and they are scattered around some kind of like obscure forums, this kind of stuff. And you need to, especially at the earliest stages of promoting your game, find these like people who are most likely to be hooked into what you're making. So that's why I can't stress enough how important it is to actually go into this, analyze the stuff, to make this competition analysis so tight that you actually know where people who did something similar to your game found their target. And then when you have these pieces, where they actually went, what they did. You might find some places that they went to, and you can also use them to find those perfect players that you want to reach. It's hard, I know, sometimes, especially with these forums. Like, I can tell you from my experience that recently I worked on a 3D platformer game. Not for a huge publisher, like a small indie studio. And of course, it's Twitter, this kind of stuff, but also I wanted to find places where, for example, hardcore Sonic lovers are hanging out, and I needed to dig deep to find them.
We found forums where that was, that's where they were hanging out?
Yeah, and sometimes my search results weren't safe for work.
I definitely knew. I kind of knew that was coming. There's definitely a lot of that kind of Sonic stuff out there.
Yeah, it is. But everything is for people, yeah? Unfortunately, our game wasn't that type of game. Mm-hmm. Maybe in the future. I don't know, guys, call me.
I did want to bring up press releases, and I don't want to come down on anyone. It's a tough job, obviously, but you mentioned gamespress.com in one of your blog posts, and it is a great resource for finding out all sorts of stuff about games news, but the press releases often are so cliche and so very much the same thing. They all start with the same kind of like a pun on the name of the game, and then it's just, it's out now and that kind of stuff. How do you write a good press release?
I feel red. I had plenty of that on my conscience, in my past. Yeah, but that's totally true. I think that sometimes it's hard to write a really good press release, especially when you didn't nail this first aspect of making your marketing. I mean that, having this special thing about your game. So sometimes when you're working in the agency or on the publisher side, you tend to get games that doesn't have this, doesn't have like nothing of a spark to it, and you really need to pull your brain to actually think of something. Sometimes it's really hard. That's why I think that PR people tend to try to, go out with some kind of puns like this. And I don't blame them. I know that it's hard.
I should come clean, and like when I advertise each episode for this podcast, I definitely use puns as a crutch, like all the time.
I've also feel seen, because as you may read on my blog, I'm serving dank memes, but I'm also trying to be honest about it. So people who are going to visit my blog will know, okay, so this is kind of cringy, but she's aware of it, this kind of stuff. And I think that it's fine when you are honest about it. But getting back to your question, how to write a good press release. I think that you should, for starters, and that's something that smaller developers and publishers tend to do, you can't assume that whatever you're trying to put into the title of the mail or the press release is going to be understood by the person who is going to get this email. Because it's too often then you actually get, because I also get these emails, corporate espionage and stuff like this. I want to know what's working and what's not. You get these emails and you often go like, I have no idea what this game is, and they are like trying to label it as something that I should know about, like from the early beginning, even before the email was sent, this kind of thing. So I think that trying to put a really good hook at the beginning of your press release, and actually on the beginning of the title, it's something that can make a huge difference. But still, of course, for doing that, you need this hook implemented into your game. And we are circling around this topic again.
What does AI mean for marketing? I know you've brought this up on Twitter.
AI? Meaning like ChatGPT?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is this going to totally change the industry, and is it something we should be concerned about?
Maybe I can tell you whether I'm concerned about it or not, like personally, because I personally don't think that I'm going to be replaced as by AI. I think that it can be a really good tool to help me doing my job, because it can make things faster. But I also, on the other side, feel that it kind of sucks that we don't have this kind of regulation set it in about how to use it ethically. But maybe in the future someone will think of a solution for this problem. But from marketing point of view, I think that it could be a tool that can help me greatly. Right. It won't do all of the job for me, because still, what's the most important thing about marketing and how I define marketing, not only in games, but marketing in general, is the thing that I really believe that it's the ability to understand other people. And, Mark, if you would ask me, okay, so what would define the perfect marketer? Is it like knowledge of tools, like, Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever, every new techie, blingy stuff coming? I don't think so. You can learn all these in a specific amount of time. You can do that. But what really has to be there in the first place is this ability to like get people, like know what makes them tick. And I don't think that AI could replace me doing this, because this is something that I'm constantly and like over trying to achieve. Every single game that I'm working on, being hobby like of mine or doing it for work, I need to understand why people decided to buy this game, to play this game, what's in there, what's in the game inside, and what's in the message that actually made them, stick their credit cards and make a purchase.
What's the best gift a game studio has given you? I've seen you got a really nice picnic basket, and I think you got a message in a bottle with your name on it.
Oh yeah, that's true. But that was from the times when I was, I'm not going to say that influencer, because, my early beginnings of me being in marketing started with me actually running a community for gamers in Poland.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is my origin story, So I had this Facebook page. It was it started in 2012, I think, and I started to run this community on Facebook. I started to post stuff, memes, funny discussions, things like that, and I was really surprised that I saw people from Polish industry, like the people I looked up to, press, media, developers, like joining my community, and I was like, what's going on? Jesus, this is weird. These are the people I was reading, in magazines before. Like, what's happening? And my community started to grow. I had many people there, and that's why presents and press packs and bottles with messages started to come in.
Cool.
And yeah, that was a really good part. But I had to continue it because I wanted to focus on my mission and being a consultant. And I knew that if I want to commit myself 100% to it, I can't just leave the community on its own. It would be a shitty thing to do.
What about, how cool is it when you were working at Bloober Team for the game Observer? You're actually in the game. Your name is on a patient ID badge. You were also listed as unemployed on that badge, which I find funny. But yeah, how cool is that? Did you know they were going to do that?
Yeah, because we had this session, a photo session, but I didn't work on Observer like full time. I did a couple things for this game. That's true, but I wasn't like a fully pledged marketing manager doing heavy lifting there. I helped with some stuff. But working at Bloober Team at this particular time was great, because this was the time when Bloober went through huge transformation. Like, I remember that this was one of my most productive times, and the things that built me the marketer I am today. Because you probably are aware of it. Bloober, a few years before Observer and Layers of Fear, was known for releasing the worst game on PS4. Like, it was called Basement Crawl. It was something like Bomberman, but meeting horrors, stuffed things. Weird thing to do, and it flopped, and it didn't work. It flopped, and it was a disaster. Then they tried to redeem themselves and released Brawl, which was like a fixed Basement Crawl, but it wasn't good. And then something clicked in them, because they decided to, okay, so for now, the thing that we are doing is that we try to chase trends. Whatever is working in the market, let's do that. And when these two games flopped heavily, they took a step back like took a deep breath and decided, okay, so this is not the way we want to do things. Let's collect ourselves and let's decide what we want to do and commit to it 100%. And then they decide to shift into being this the best horror developer and publisher. And they try to go on this path, and they continue it till this day. And I think that when I saw this journey of them, and when I heard what the team was saying, what kind of talks were there, that they knew and had this like kind of approach that they need to make every single element of the game working with the theme they agreed to. I think that that was the thing when some parts of me clicked as well, and I was like, okay, so this is the way you're supposed to do things. And I'm very grateful for the lesson I got from them back then.
So have you, as far as your name on the ID badge there, like, have you played the game? Have you acquired that badge? And, what's that feel like to see your own name in a video game?
Of course, that was the first thing I did. Although I think that I'm available to collect at the end of the game. At least I had it when I was nearly the finish line. But yeah, it was like, oh my god. Like Rutger Hauer, because in this game you play as a character played by Rutger Hauer, holds in his hands my picture, and that's a thing that no one can take from me.
You also appear to be a fellow Diablo fan, and it looks like me, you started way back when, certainly Diablo 2. Did you play the first Diablo?
No, I started with the second
No, that's fine.
No, I would lie to you. I remembered something. I played the demo.
Okay.
Back then in early, I don't know when, but I got my hands on the demo, then I skipped it somehow, then Diablo 2, then Diablo 3, I skipped Diablo 2 Resurrected, and now I'm so eager to play Diablo 4.
Me too. I don't know if this is what I'm asking, how you feel about. So I did start on Diablo 1, playing at my brother's house when I was a little kid, and I just was hooked. I don't know what it was, but like medieval fantasy always, when I was younger, I was like, yep, that's my thing. Diablo 2, one of my all-time favorite games. Then Diablo 3 came out. I bought a whole new computer for it. I was like, this is, oh my goodness, here it is. And I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, it just didn't click with me. I have tried to pin down what exactly, because it's not that different.
So much colors, right?
Well,
I don't know.
I feel like there's got to be some aspect of like, well, maybe I'm just nostalgic for 2, and maybe I'm just older now. But it just...
4 is going to be so your jam, Mark.
Which one, sorry?
4.
Yes, well, that's why I played I didn't play the first beta, but I played the Server Slam, and I'm into it. I definitely, there's some aspects where I'm like, I don't know if this is where I would go, but whatever. But I really enjoyed it. I played up to the level 20, I think is as high as you get, and I was like, yep.
Yeah, we're going to get a wolf pup. Yeah, I'm so excited.
I didn't finish the boss, though. Which I think you also get something for.
But if you nail 20th level, I think that like Wolf Pup is going to be for you.
All right.
So that's for sure. And which classes did you play?
I played Necromancer.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was so overpowered. Oh my god. I picked it. It was my first class when I played the beta, and I was like, oh my god, is it supposed to work like that? Because I'm killing it.
I have heard the sorcerer is really
one.
Okay. I like what they did with how you just sort of always have skeletons, because in 2 definitely I like the Necromancer as well, but it had that sort of, oh no, my skeletons are dead and now I need to kill enemies to get more, but I need my skeletons to kill the enemies.
Yeah, I felt really good with my skeleton buddies. Like we hang out a bit.
Yeah.
But this game is, I can't wait. Like really, this beta was so good for me. I was even so hooked in the story. I was like, normally when I'm playing Diablo, I'm not so, kind of getting deep dive into the lore. But in the fourth installment, I was like, oh my god, this is really, really something.
Yeah, I immediately canceled my Warcraft subscription because I was like, well, there's no point in keeping this around because I'm going to be switching.
Yeah, for some time, I'm afraid, but I'm really curious what they're going to cook for us for the end game.
Yes,
because I really like the end game in the third Diablo. So I hope that they will keep me busy in the fourth.
Going back to the marketing stuff, a couple more questions here. Twitter Advanced Search is your go-to search engine for game dev marketing campaigns. Why is that?
Yeah, I know that it's probably something very unorthodox to say, and it's not like a very fancy, magic-y, swishy kind of tool that normally we use. But advanced search tool for Twitter is great because, as I mentioned before, every developer probably has a Twitter account. So if I'm about to dig what they did with their marketing campaign, I'm pretty sure that it landed on Twitter as well. So, because I'm also pairing it up with SteamDB, which is great. I hope that it will never shut down. I'm looking at the charts at SteamDB. You have these kind of spike when something happened, and you have this spike in followers numbers. So I'm trying to pair it up with some kind of activity that happened with the game. And I'm putting my little Sherlock hat on my head, and I'm looking for answers there. Because in Twitter, on Twitter search tool, oh my god, I need to sip more coffee. When I'm powering this tool up, I can look for a specific date range and to see what they posted or what anyone posted that could translate into this rise in followers numbers. So that's why it's great. And then I'm noting things down in my special and secret page in Notion, because this is a tool I'm also using, but I'm going to cover it in my next blog post. Not the next, but somewhere in the future.
All right.
But yeah, it's not very glamorous, maybe, but it works for me because I want to know specifically what happened that could actually make things work for the game that I'm currently investigating.
Yeah, definitely. There's if there's a spike, obviously when I release an episode, there's a spike on that day and the next day. But then randomly sometimes there'll be a spike, and I'm always like, did someone post about this, or why am I suddenly getting all these downloads when
yeah, and you really want to know what happened, yeah, because you want to replicate the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
obviously.
Let's do that again.
This is what I'm doing with my marketing research, because I'm looking for the actions that someone else did, because of course you learn the most valuable lessons on your actions and failures, but you also can learn from others' actions.
The pandemic, has it forever changed games marketing? Like, will in-person events ever hold the same sway that they did pre-pandemic?
Looking at the situation at E3, you can argue about that, but I think that offline events aren't going anywhere, because I think that developers, publishers, and gamers still want to and crave this connection with each other. So I think that the best possible scenario for everyone is to mix them up, to have a bit of offline events and a bit of online, so everybody can feel happy about attending this particular type of event that they will be happy to. So yeah, I think that it changed because previously we didn't have as many offline things, but for the better. But I really hope that Gamescom is not going anywhere because it would kind of suck. But yeah.
All right. Well, Game Marketing Guide is at gamemarketing.guide. You are Game Market Guide on Twitter. Anywhere else people should check you out?
On Twitter and on LinkedIn. It's the same thing. A Game Marketing Guide on LinkedIn. I knew that my name would be too hard for foreign people from Poland to pronounce. That's why I wanted to make your life easier. This is all what Game Marketing Guide is about: to make your life easier, especially marketing your games.
Well, I'll try one more time. Marta Matyjewicz, thank you for being here.
Mark, thank you for having me. You were a wonderful host. That was a great time, and thank you for being able to talk with you, and have a good one. And feed this cat, okay?
Okay, I will do so. Thank you so much.